right. Yo,
What's up?
imagine if ingene phakathi and I was gonna take it home. Yo, shwele moyingcwele.
I'll leave. Really.
Okay, you good now, okay? Can I leave the meeting?
Yes, we can. We can.
All right, cool. Kulungile, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, that was just to plug your PC in. What does kind of
Bye.
fucking maybe if you having to just talk to someone now.
Hmm?
Look the cover open.
Open.
This thing isn't gonna be that wide open. Just going to my dad's office for all pictures.
Maybe.
Otherwise, Jay.
No. Okay, let's get settled, guys. Hello. People are busy with their PCs, guys. Come on. Okay, let's get settled. Thank you. Guys, what are you still busy with on your PCs? Hello? Okay, I think let's get started. Hello. Hello. Okay. Welcome back to
day two of your induction.
again. How are you guys?
Again, how are you guys feeling? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Oh, that side is just ink. Thumbs down. Okay, let's talk about that. What's wrong? Huh? I can't hear you. One at a time, please. What's wrong? Yeah. So you don't wanna talk. You need therapy. Come talk to me first. Maybe
Very safe.
very safe. I don't think that makes sense.
Yeah. No.
Okay. But I'm serious. What's wrong? Life is life.
Lee, can you hear?
Coding. Yeah, but it's better than
Yeah.
coding.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Lee and then so you're gonna speak with us.
This one.
Check out the
Then what about sheep? Yeah. The equal is one.
woman. Yeah, take this one. You don't want the mic so good so close to the mic.
Wait, let me see the slides.
No, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I want
So
to see
when
the slide.
Lee and them speak, when I come from your ears, you speak short.
I get it. I want to see the slide. So, okay, guys, I know. You guys might have something what's wrong. So you prepare to see. Let's see a song. You guys tell me what's wrong. What's serious? It's not wrong. It's the song. Stop that way. You say not to what's wrong. The start of the week. So, okay, calm down, calm down. Hello. So we're gonna start induction now. I'm sorry we were delayed a bit because of the sign-ins that were taking place at the back. But yeah, we're about to start. Can you hear me at the back? Can you hear me? Read my lips. You'll be fine. Okay, so yeah, we did. So actually everything creates massive things. Okay, like this. Okay. So this is the agenda for today, right? So we're gonna have Ben from the LMS team. They're gonna talk to us about the new curriculum. You can have an opportunity to answer or to ask all the questions that you like to ask about the curriculum, what it's supposed to be teaching you, and all of that. The second session will be from the performance team, and we'll be talking about the performance policy package. This is very important for you to understand because it determines your graduation eligibility. So you need to understand this so that when the time comes, you don't have to come to the office crying that apparently you are not graduate eligible. You should know at every step whether or not you are graduate eligible. Are we good? All right. And then Lee is gonna talk about the communication tools. Okay. Fantastic. We're gonna use
Lee's gonna talk about
talk about the communication tools, as well as the matrix element, the one that we use to communicate. And then Ruan is gonna talk to us about QCTO as well as accreditation. What are the requirements? Because there's two things here. There's you completing the weekend coursework, and then there's QCTO or accreditation. Those are they coexist, but they are two different things. You can complete the coursework, but not get the NQF level 5. 6, sorry. Which means you guys. Okay. And then, so to begin with, Sven, are you in the call?
Yep, here. Can everyone hear me fine?
Sven, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
No. Sven, you can take it out.
What was that?
I'm saying you can start.
All right, cool. I'll just share my screen. Could you stop screen sharing for a second, Jay? Great stuff. Can you see the slides fine?
Yes, we can.
Great. All right. So most of you already know me. I'm Fen. I'm working on the curriculum and LMS team. And I just wanted to have a quick chat with you this morning about the curriculum and the tools that you've been learning so far, especially since we're about to start your second semester where you'll be working with Java and such instead of Python. There's just a few projects between now and then. So I think now is a great time to reflect a little bit on what we've learned, the different tools you've used, and what we'd like to focus on moving forward. So the first tool that I'd like to talk about is Git. Now, you would have used Git mostly through the command line or through VS Code's wrapper. You're using Git whenever you type git clone or git push or git log or anything like that. So let's just see what Git's like in use again. It's tracking commits, so these are changes to code. It'll tell you who did it and when, and then you also have the option to say why you made a change. Now, we're all very familiar with this already, I hope. You would have seen the GitLab wrapper around Git. It's a nice visualizer to see everything that's happening in a repository. You can see the commit history and contributor analytics and stuff like this. But I want to reiterate that GitLab and Git wrappers in general are not specific to Rethink Code. This is pretty much an industry standard. So while some organizations use GitLab, but many more use GitHub. So I've just opened here the React GitHub repository. I don't know if anyone's written JavaScript or built a front-end web project, but if you have, you probably know what React is. So this is built on GitHub. And I just wanted to quickly show you what people use Git like in the real world. So they've got a real nice README, and they've got almost 20,000 commits in this repository. You can see for every commit, they make sure to say, hey, this is to do with the continuous integration system or the compiler, or we're fixing this bug that everyone already knows about. Also, every commit on main is linked to a pull request because they're using something called a branching strategy, where they'll make an issue and then every issue gets a branch, and then they'll merge that branch when the issue is fixed. That way they know in a lot of detail why every change was made. So obviously this depends on the organization that you'll eventually end up working in. But people have a lot of well-defined workflows for Git nowadays, whether it's one branch per issue or feature branches or user branches or stuff like this. There's a lot more to Git than what you've learned so far. And I think it's good to be aware of that and understand that there's a lot to learn by looking at these real world Git repos. So I want to encourage you now to just have a look at that. I've also got here Scott Hanselman's GitHub profiles. So some of you might have seen Scott Hanselman talking on campus or through his podcast, which I recommend, Hansel Minutes. So I wanted to show you what his GitHub profile looks like. He's got a README introducing himself, popular repositories. These are public projects that he's built, and you can see his contribution graph. Now, nowadays, he's mostly speaking and managing and perhaps not coding so much, but sometimes you'll see these commit graphs are super bright green because this person's committing all the time. In a few projects from now, you'll be having your portfolio project, which will be a public project on GitHub, and you'll have the opportunity to think about what you want your GitHub presence to look like and to build your first public project. So I want to encourage you also to get ready for that. Have a look at other people's GitHub profiles and take some inspiration. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the command line. So we've been using the command line. You know commands like cd, you know mv, you know cp, you know ls to see what's happening in any particular folder. What you might not know is that all of those commands come from, in our case, the GNU core utilities. So Wikipedia has a nice list of all the different core utilities. These will be haunting you for the rest of your career because they exist on any POSIX compatible system. So that's any Linux, even Mac OS has these. And they're wonderful to know and to have a really good command of when you're doing any sort of system administration. Now, I mentioned at some point in the curriculum that a particular line of Python code is equivalent to makedir -p. Now, you might know about the makedir command, but that -p flag might be new. So I want to show you the man command again. I think I went over this last time, but I really want you to understand whenever there's a command on the command line that you don't know, or maybe you want to know what sort of options there are, what flags there are that you might not already know about, you can type it after man. So man is short for manual. So man makedir shows a description of all sorts of flags, including the -p flag. It says if the folder already exists, it won't throw an error, and it'll create parent directories as needed. Cool. But there's also a ton of other flags here that I haven't told you about yet. And you can also see who wrote it, which is cool, and how to report bugs. It's just nice. Use man. This is an advertisement for man. No, I'm not sponsored. I also wanted to talk a little bit about VS Code. So this is the main editor that we've been using so far. Going forward, we'll probably be using IntelliJ, which is much more well-suited, designed specifically for Java. So VS Code is not the only IDE out there. There's a lot of other popular ones. You also don't theoretically need an IDE depending on what you're writing. We can open up VS Code here. It's got a Git wrapper, it's got extensions. You should really look at all the extensions for VS Code, by the way. There's a lot of really useful ones. Like AutoPep8 is nice for Python. But if you don't have an IDE for whatever reason, you can always just use Nano. So you can edit your code just on the terminal. No need for an IDE at all. But of course, we live in the 21st century. We've got such nice tools available to us. Why not use them? So far you've done, I think it's like 15 projects, which is an achievement. But I want to go back and just discuss the curriculum philosophy, and in particular pay attention to what you've learned already and what's still going to be covered in the future semesters. So with programming, you've worked with code and data. So now you know a little bit about like CSV files or the different data types. These things are important for when you're working with data, but then there's also loops and the built-in functions. Hopefully you have command of those by now. Under engineering, we've worked a lot with tests. So automated testing is something you should have a pretty strong grip on at this point. Build, deploy, and run might still be a little bit mysterious because Python is an interpreted language. You don't need to build anything, and we haven't deployed anything either because we don't work with servers yet. That's coming later in the curriculum. You've done some teamwork. You've worked in teams. You've done pechakuchas. So learning, sharing, and adapting information is hopefully something you've gained some experience with. But of course, you'll be learning about that for the rest of your life. And then we've also done some stuff with communication. So you're journaling, pechakucha for more presentation type stuff. I think now is a good time to reflect a little bit on what you've learned from that, what you liked, what you didn't like, and what do you think you could still improve about yourself as a professional. So we're coming up now, almost just a few projects for the end of 101 fundamentals. So we've covered how computers work, how programmers work, just the very basics of everything. And the next semester will be object orientation. So this is our move to Java. We're building larger and more complex projects. Yeah, so this is how the first semester addressed the different aspects of being a software engineer. Cool. And to speak more on the first semester and everything that happened, I'd like to hand back to the performance team. But first, I think now's a good time to take some questions on the curriculum content.
Can you hear me? Ben?
Yep, can hear you now.
I was saying that the question was more related to the performance team. So we'll relate to them.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic. Are there any other questions relating to the curriculum? Hold on. Okay. I think we are okay with. Oh, there's a question. Ben, can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you
Ben?
fine.
Yeah, the question was, they haven't received any feedback from the board ever since the credit project. Can you give clarity on that?
Okay, yeah. So these last 3 projects, I've been having some technical issues with the automatic feedback. What we'll do is I'll be doing some retrospective reviews on all those projects, probably with some leniency towards the technical minutia, but still seeing if you understood the gist of the project. And then you'll get reviews for those projects, hopefully sometime this week.
The question answered. They're asking about network analysis because the report says it was not started. Can you give
Okay.
clarity on that as well?
So the nice thing is that I do have all of your GitLab data. So even though the LMS maybe had some glitches in recognizing when you started the project, I can go in and fill in those dates and times retrospectively. So I'll be doing that this week. Your report card should be fixed shortly.
So the report card should be fixed shortly. Did you get that? All right. Fantastic. I think that was all, Ben.
Cool.
Thank you so much. Okay. Now next will be the performance team to talk about the first semester overview. Anyone from performance? Peter, can you speak to Kobe on that side? Fantastic.
Okay, good morning everyone. There's some team new performance over the quite a few times, but we'll just go over it here just so that everyone's comfortable with it. And all I ask is if you have questions, even if there's something mandatory vague here, please ask. You'll probably help someone head down over here, but let's just try and clear any misunderstandings that you might cross. You can fix some of these. Do you have the documentation? Alright, so I'll just go over what we have been experiencing for the past few months. So I'm just going to talk a bit on your new qualification. Go more to the back. Thank you. Okay, cool. So yeah, we adapted the curriculum for this cohort. And the reason we adapted it is because you are all studying to a higher qualification. So previously we completed diploma, and now you're all studying towards an advanced diploma. Okay, it's just one level under a degree, and it's new for everyone. It's really cool. And the goal at Meeting Code is to eventually move to a degree level, maybe even further, but y'all are the pioneers for the CK Level 6 qualification, okay? And with the changes to the APF Level 6 qualifications, we have to make updates to the curriculum as well. Yes. Can you closer? Like, so mind. Okay, cool. Can everyone at the back hear me? No. Okay. I'll speak louder. Closer. Okay. So in the fundamental module, we found that with the previous cohorts across your first semester, second semester, third semester, there were some semesters that focused on a lot more difficult content. And what we're trying to do with the redesign of curriculum this time is trying to spread it across a lot more people. So in your fundamentals now, started working with more different topics, so mathematical topics. How's open similar to this? Okay. I see. I have seen released today. And before
Wait, when you want to trip this,
Thank you. And no comment to you, but yeah, okay. So this y'all have been focused on your fundamentals using Python. Within the semester, we focus a lot on the fundamentals of code, how to code, basic data structures, lists, arrays, dictionaries, and that's something that you're going to be using throughout your PhD and code. And yeah, Jay. Let's go. Okay.
Another?
So,
Hmm?
the next slide. Okay, cool. Yes, over this semester, you focused a lot on using tools like it. You're going to be using it throughout your daily activity code as well. And we also changed how we were doing previously. Previously, we had students working on a system called Admis. And with y'all, we have y'all directly pushing to GitLab and using your virtual controls tools such as Git. Okay, cool. In your semester as well, you focus a lot on development. So I'm talking a lot about previous years, but in previous years, we didn't start on the first semester a lot focused on TED. The reason we want to start and you're doing that now. The reason we want to start and you're using that now is because by the time you get to the second year, your electives, once you get to that's something that we just want you to very regularly. It's going to become normal for you. And we just want to move the focus back to TED. Okay? Cool. Iterative development. Y'all have been working in 1 week sprints. You can consider that as some kind of iteration. We used to have it as 2 week sprints, but it's just 1 week sprints now. And once you get to your second semester, once you get to your project, I see you online. You can't get online. So let's use that one. So you speak up.
Can you speak up a bit?
Okay, y'all have been to journaling as well. The topic you take paper or you also we won't speak about it every time. But we want you to journal because it helps you keep track of yourself. It helps you keep track of what you understand, what you misunderstood. It can be a nice point basically if you want to collaborate with one of your peers about, hey, I got stuck here, can we work on this together? And that's something that you want to get to that well. You can use a notebook, you can write it down, you can use a document, you can use Notion, you can use Miro, but we want you to get into a very regular habit on journaling. So with the start of the new project, go through the steps of it, what you understand, what you not understand. The next day, as you keep working through the project, try to clear what you misunderstood. That means it makes sense now. By the end of the project, there's still some blind spots. If you still don't understand what is the project, jot it down. You have no idea how this is going to be useful for you. The writing as well, the journal as well. It helps us a lot. And something that will just people in the future. Comments. Page switches, you'll have been doing some page switches. We just want to start this call in your first semester just to get you used to presentations, people, speaking in front of people, and we're going to continue with it. And anytime we do new projects, we're going to know this in progress come here, we're going to things alumni come here, and we're going to want you to go with AK. We want you to present from a problem to them, we want you to show confidence, and this is something you'll get used to because throughout your career, it's something you're going to be cool. But I think we can go to
The document.
So after me, he's going to speak to you all about communication tools, but I would just like to go back to our performance policy package and just go over that again. I'm sure you'll have time, but let's just go over it.
Oh.
This is more of binding contract between yourself and your own activities. As much as it is a contract between yourself and the performance team, this is really just a contract just to make sure that you stay on track. Okay? Oh,
I needed someone. Okay.
I'll go through this. Just to make sure that we get say clear deadlines for you. Be transparent with you. They need to know what to expect without having duration of your time that it goes. One, showing to you so that showing you that you should fair, transparent, you know exactly where you're going to be graded, you know exactly how you're going to be scoring, you know exactly what to do in order to gauge to it. And we say it's a binding contract because at the end of the day, it's just to make sure. Yes.
I can't hear you.
Jason. Okay, that's
Coburn,
yes,
Coburn,
Nicholas said
Jay.
it's just-
Jay, can you hear me?
Sure. Yeah.
You're not sharing what Coburn is presented.
yes.
On Zoom, you are not showing. Okay, now it's reflecting. Cool. Thank you.
Doing. Fantastic. Huh? Scroll down.
Okay. Next. All right. We're not going to this. We're going to be doing But I would like your familiar like how what the structure is. There's a lot of roles. It has a lot to do with participation, with working with each other, and how the groups and work dynamics play out. Okay. Just okay. Some expectations. So throughout the semester, for every semester, you're going to have a series of a combination of different projects. So most importantly, you're going to have your solo submissions, based on your cancer solve projects.
Sorry, Corbin.
It's fine. Furthermore, you're going to be tested as well. Okay, so you're going to have a different combination of tests. You'll have coding assessments and you'll have.
But on top of that, you will have
Okay. It's not the types of assessments. So your coding assessments, and you also have some formative assessments. So in high school, primary school, university, there's this thing called continuous assessments. You can think of it as like cycle tests. I'd like you to think of your coding assessments and your formative assessment as cycle tests. Okay. So we're going to be testing you throughout the semester on certain topics that you touched on. And then at the end of the semester, you'll focus on something called a summative assessment. Okay. A summative assessment is, for lack of a better word, exam. Okay. And so that's what part is going to focus for every semester. We have outlined it on your calendar and it's updated, so you can see that in the upcoming weeks you will have assessments.
I muted. Just put my PC on
Mute me, bro. I'm the thing. Shit. The thing is,
It's like small points.
you need to zoom.
For all points.
Oh.
Okay. Throughout every semester, going to tackle different types of problems. Okay, so this was one meeting, and in the upcoming weeks, you're going to move into the second semester. Second semester is going to focus very specifically on object, and you'll have like touch on it, but we do have modules and projects that will be achieved to the floor. But so I told on so each semester we're going to have new what we grab for each other. We want to review each other, very positive, like constructively with each other, to help each other focusing on the learning outcomes that she doesn't have to watch. We're going to be focusing on team collaboration. Next semester, you are going to be focused on a group project. And yes, you'll have had a very good project for this semester. You've been co-creating a lot. But for next semester, you're going to be working on a really big group project. Okay? So we're going to be focusing a lot on team collaboration. We want you to get into the project now. We will help you with learning enhancement tools because you are trying to tackle challenges that you haven't seen before. And we will get you to learn to have walkthroughs with you. And yes, we just want you to have some commitment to improvements. Okay. Then open projects. Progress one chain. Okay, cool. Okay. Just code it. Just code. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So we have touched on this before, and I just want to go over this again to those how you get graded for your sorting submissions. Okay. So Yeah, let's that yeah, once we are sure studying it's fun in the general possibilities. But yeah, if you submit a project, let's say a project is released on Monday, and then it's due on Sunday. You submit on that Sunday, not day over, you can possibly obtain a project score. Okay. If you submit it one day over, you'll get a score of 4. If you submit it 2, 3, or 4 days later, you'll get a score of 3. If you submit 5 or 6 days later, you'll get a score of 2. The score of 5 later. And if you submit over 6 days, you get something different. For each additional day, HMS will subtract a further 0.1 solution. As some. Much. But this is just how it wasn't was. It's not in our regulations. I don't know if this is in relation to what man said, but we've been having issues with the boss last 2 weeks. Obviously, now as you mentioned this, will he be able to manually install Windows and see since we're
Okay, so let me just take you. Okay. Just to put your minds at ease a bit, if we see, especially with this group, if we see that there was fault with the project or that we set a date and we got feedback very late, and we can see that the mass group was affected, we'll adjust the scores on our side. Okay? We don't always do this. I also want to get to the waiting because the small part of our okay? If there's errors with the bots, we're still refining it, still get better as well, and it's the project that you are working on. So we're not going to if there's a project that was just maybe a bit too out of scope, or if you can see most people couldn't finish on time, we will make adjustments on our end, and we'll be transparent about it. We will have reports going on soon, but I know from the projects from September up to November, we adjusted about most of them. There was a lot going on, stacking issues, the projects were new, we're refining the projects, we're using a new system, so we won't be too unfair for you, okay? But from next semester, the projects that we're going to be using are going to be for. So we will be a bit more strict with those projects because we dealt with them before, and we aren't going to be expecting y'all to rely on bot too much, okay, for those set of projects. There's a question at the back.
I have a question about the final.
Sure.
Some people had Wi-Fi, and then you had to start like I didn't even initiate time off the signal. I didn't make any adjustments.
Okay, so from what I remember giving almost everyone extra time. I remember giving everyone almost extra time. Yeah. So from what I know, when we released that system for y'all, we gave you half an hour extra in the test itself, but we also gave you half an hour time. I think it was how long? I think we gave you 2 hours. It was supposed to be an hour. So we gave you a lot more extra time. And that was just us putting that in place because we were aware of the Wi-Fi issue. Your operations optimizing the Wi-Fi on campus. But going forward, we're not going to try and be too unfair. With our class discussions, we will try to give you extra time. If you felt pressured, then I don't know. We try to give you extra time. And there was.
So I noticed that when you go back to a project and you have perfect scope, then when you go back to a project to make some adjustments, it takes its own time. So I had to live to accommodate this sort of
Okay, we'll come back to some questions, but let's just keep moving on. Lee, if there's any questions in quick, just please let you know, and then we can continue. Okay, cool. Sir, please Thank you. Okay, we spoke about MCQ assessments, performance assessments. It's hypothesis, essentially.
What the code assist.
Can you go further down?
Can you go further down?
Down. Down. Code reviews. Okay, cool. Let's talk about this. So throughout the semester, yeah, I've gotten a series of code picking projects. Okay. The reason we started doing so many code picking projects is because we want y'all to get used to sitting with someone's code and going through it together. Y'all are going to a module called Brownfields in your third semester. And when you get to Brownfields, it's a lot of interesting and fun work that you learn there, but you'd be working on a code base that you haven't seen before. So you and your team would have to start getting used to it. And I'm not saying we're doing code reviews in preparation for brownfields, but we're doing code reviews so that you can just prepare yourself in working with random code or working on someone else. Aslam, who works on the board, always tells us that you're supposed to read more code than type in it. So that's the whole thing about code reviews. We want you to read more. It's like reading a book. The more you read a book, the more efficient you become at reading. It's the exact same code. The more you read it in different languages as well, the more proficient you become. Right. All right. So, what this is what. Okay, cool. So yeah, with the reviews, we have a lot of them peer-to-peer based. We'll give you a project, and we'll say, please review each other, submit the grade, submit the score, submit comments about what you think about how the review went. We want you to approach the reviews in a positive way. We don't want you to look at someone's code like, oh, this is really badly done, do better, and leave it like that. We want you to go through the code about what could actually be improved, how you would improve it, asking them questions, probe-like questions, asking them, how else do you think you could have done this? How else do you think you could have maybe approached this? And to probe at each other to see what more you could have done or what you could have done differently. We will have some student performance-led reviews as well. It's just for us to call you forward, just to ask you, hey, you submit to these projects, we just want to see how you do in explaining your code to us. So we'll come forward and pull up one of the projects. Oh, this code block is very confusing. Could you just explain it to me yourself? And yes, we understand that in a lot of cases, you might not remember on the spot what's going on. But what we're trying to see is, can you go through your code and try and figure out the logic that you're using at the time? To explain it, if someone else were to come to you, ask for help, you could go and explain someone else's code in a different way. Just want you to get used to reading a lot of code. Sweet. Support mechanisms. Okay. Who liked their mentor? Okay. 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 I thought I was going to see a lot more hands. I think they were pretty cool people. But yeah, that's something that we had as some of our support mechanisms. So when you started, we found it very important to more specifically have a mentor in place for you, because immediately they would be focusing on a group of 8 people or 10 people and helping you, having check-ins with you, touching base with you. And that's one of the first support mechanisms that we have. We're going to continue with code sessions throughout your time here. There will be sometimes iteration kickoffs. If you are focused on, if we're working on a 2-week project or a 2-week iteration project, we will perhaps have kickoffs just to outline this is what you need to focus on as a group in for the iteration. But for now, we aren't having kickoffs. We're just releasing the projects to you and having you go through it. Okay. One-on-one sessions. This is very dependent on where you are in the curriculum or how you performance wise. We are going to eventually put something called, if there's a student who needs to be put on a performance plan, maybe you're struggling maybe you're just struggling with the content, maybe it's time management. We just going to have a bit more of a closer one-on-one session with you just to help you through whatever you're struggling. So we're going to ask you to outline your own schedule. We're going to make it compulsory for you to attend some workshops. We're going to be tracking attendance as well, but we're doing this all in favor of trying to benefit. Okay? Next thing is stand-ups and retros. So in your teams already, we would really like you to start having your stand-ups and retros. You are working on this IRC project was released this week. We would like you to have a retro every day. With your teammates as you are, just at 9 o'clock for 15 minutes, go through what everyone's working through. Everyone in the team should say what they've worked on, what they finished, and what they're struggling with. Okay? There are specific tools that you can use: Miro, Notion, ClickUp, Monday.com. A lot of different tools that you can use just to keep track of your tasks. And within your team, we would like to start doing this already, so that once you get to your group projects, you would have created a dynamic between you and your teammates, and that you'll see that in this industry, that's almost everyone's 9 o'clock in the morning. They have a stand up, they talk about what they've been working on, what they're struggling with, and usually at the end of a 2 week period maybe, they would have a retro just outlining what was holding you back, what can you do differently that can push you forward, how in the team can someone assist someone else. Following? Yes, okay. Okay, yeah, so we will have student check-ins. It depends. We can have student check-ins with the group. It can be one-on-one. If you also would like to touch base with the performance member, if you want to contact one of us, just ask, hi, I'm feeling that I'm busy about my scores. I'd like to just come see you. And we would be happy to go through your grades and everything with you. What's happening. Okay. So please don't hesitate to reach out, but please be formal about it. Please contact us by email, formalize it. If it's via Slack, it might not Slack matrix, it might be missed. But if you want this formal check-in, approach it formally. Okay. Cool. Weightage. Cool. This is a breakdown of how your scores are going to be calculated for the semester. So average across all project submissions will count 40%. Once you get to a group project, it'll count 20%, with every iteration split up specifically, because the last chunk of the iteration carries the most weight, the most difficulty, the most problems that you have to solve. And then you have your assessments, which are broken up by 30% for your coding assessments, the tutorials can be for now. So we might just work this and share with you, because I've done tutorials this semester, so you can work it. And then your formative assessment and your summative assessment, which is exam. So it's very similar for your second semester. Solo projects, you'll have a group project, you'll have your assessment as well. Okay, then semester 3, which will be your second year, okay? You will start brownfields development immediately, and you will then move to your web development projects, and they'll take the average across all those scores, and then again your assessments, okay? In your final semester will focus specifically on just your electives. So at the moment we have 6 electives. We started off with mobile development, systems integration, quality assurance, and we added 3 new electives last year: blockchain, cloud development, and data engineering. Okay. So once you get to your third semester, we'll start, or your second year, we'll start sending information about your electives for you to start reading through, for you to get a feel about which elective you'd like to do. Because once we get to electives and once you make a choice, it's set in stone, okay? No need to worry about that too much now. Now just focus on your first semester, finishing the semester, and we'll get to it once we get there, okay? Okay, semester-based progression, okay? So over here, it says the minimum average score required to qualify for second year is 50%. And the reason I say so is because in order to pass your second year, you need to pass with the 60%. Okay? So 50% is the minimum mark to pass the semester or for this year. But I really would like for y'all to aim for 100%. I'd like for y'all to aim for 100%. I'd like for y'all to ideally aim above 60%. That is something that can help you keep track of yourself. If you know you're missing your scores, if you know you got your report and it's 52 or something like that, you know that for your second year, you're going to have to push, okay? So to qualify for second year, you need to have all your projects complete. There should be no outstanding projects at all. If there's an outstanding project, you'll probably send you a warning saying, hey, this is outstanding, let's complete it, and we'll wait for you to complete it. If you don't complete your first semester or first year projects before second year starts, you won't qualify. Okay? Cool. And then once you get to the second year is going to be split between your semester 3 and semester 4. You will, and we're going to update this in the document, you will need about a minimal pass rate. A minimal pass rate for each semester of about 35 to 40%. Okay? So for semester 3, if you score below 35%, you won't qualify for semester 4. Okay? This is something we can start changing because we saw students in the past who get 80% or so for semester 3, and by the time they get to the electives, they stop working, they go down, they think that they scored the mark that they needed to, and then they do really poorly, and it messes up their overall score. Okay, so we need you to have grit for the entire year. Okay, so please aim for above 60%, and you'll be fine. Cool. All right. Okay, performance warnings. Performance warnings are given to students who are not completing their coursework. So if we see that after 3 sprints or 3 iterations of 3-week sprints, if we see that your work is incomplete, you haven't submitted, we will issue a performance warning. Okay? In the performance warning, it will state that you need to complete the set work within a certain time frame, and we will have regular check-ins with you at the same time. We'll probably have you maybe put on a performance plan, depending on what state you're in. But this is how it's issued. And for each semester your performance warnings will be set. Okay? So if in your first semester you get to your third performance warning, we will have a hearing, an academic hearing, and that will lead to possibly a dismissal. So keep your slate clean. If you have a performance warning, it's fine, just check it off and get to your new semester without any problems this semester. Okay? Cool. Sweet. Okay, cheating policy. Cheating and plagiarism is an absolute no-no in written code. If you are found cheating in your assessments or one of your projects, it will lead to an immediate dismissal. It's not something that we take lightly. And the reason like this is because we want you to maintain the integrity of the school and yourselves. We want you to make sure that you maintain some kind of sense of professionalism. And yeah, all I ask is please don't cheat. What is cheating? Taking someone else's work and not having ownership of it at all. Using an AI during an assessment also. And possibly if we call you forward for just to review your code and we pick up that there's maybe uses of AI here in a poor fashion and you can't explain the code at all. Or we can see you doing excellent with your submissions, but when it comes to your assessments, you're doing really poorly. We'll notice that there's something up, we'll pull you forward, and if you just report for cheating, we'll to a dismissal. Okay. Yeah. Cheating, plagiarism. Okay. Okay, you can have different types of dismissals. I guess I can talk on this. It can be behavioral. So that can probably come from your operations team. It can come from performance as well, or any department. If there's anything against the student code of conduct that you went against. There can be a dismissal through academic exclusion. If you're doing and we put you on a performance warning, a performance plan, completed your projects and you try your best, and you get to your assessment and you miss it, or you don't qualify for second year, or you don't qualify for semester 3 or semester 4, you can have dismissal that will be based on academic exclusion. Okay. Okay. I think that's about it. I'll just take about 3 minutes or 2 minutes just for any questions. Please, if there's any questions, get on. Yes. Sorry, just keep it loud. Yeah. What's your ask? Okay. Yes, so yeah, so that's the ask, and then the question. I think your coding submissions, I think it's almost quite self-explanatory that when you submit, when you ran the code and you ran the unit test, whatever score you got in your unit test is the score you got. Talking about the coding assessments, and I think we've outlined this before. If you make any edits to the unit test, you make any edits to a file that you're not supposed to make edits to. You can pick that up on our side and we'll have to investigate your submission or see, and we've seen it before that students went and hard coded some of the unit tests, and we can pick that up. So please don't hard code, please don't edit the tests, but whatever score you got when you submitted is the score you got for the test. And then on your ask, the ask was, please can we get an overview of our timeline for the semester? Yes, we will do that. So this first semester was a bit difficult for us because as you were progressing through the semester, we were creating the projects at the same time. But once you get to semester 2, the projects are already set in stone. We already have an outline, so it will be a lot clearer on the calendar going forward. With this week, it's just your first semester that the projects were a bit different. So going forward, it will be a lot clearer. Yes.
My question. My question is, you mentioned we have a summative assessment in the coming weeks. Is it the only assessment that we are left to do, or is there still more to prepare for?
You will have 4 assessments until the end of the semester. So I believe y'all got comms this morning. There's an assessment next week, Thursday. It's going to be, I'm sorry, but we need to. Okay, but you are going to have an assessment next week, Thursday. And on top of that, you're going to have a coding assessment for an hour and a half, and then you're also going to have a formative assessment for an hour. So what we're going to do next week, Thursday, is you're going to get a workstation. We'll decide whether you get to choose which assessment you start first, but you will start one of them, and in the same setting, you will start the second one. So it will be a coding assessment for an hour and a half, and then it will be more contextual like questions. It's MCQs, it's multiple choice questions. So that's what it's going to be. You're going to have that. And in the last week of the semester, you're going to have another coding assessment. It's going to be a bit longer, the coding assessment. And then you're going to have your summative assessment as well. So we might call it a coding day or an assessment day. Maybe just going to block out quite a lot of time on your schedule. And you're just going to be focusing on the coding assessment and the summative MCQ. Okay. That's a question. Yes. So the first thing is your submission. If you submit the project and we can see you made changes to a file that you weren't supposed to, that's the first thing with the assessment. It's also why we have invigilators walking around. We ask you not to open any other tabs, and we're just trying to have a sharp eye, keeping an eye on everyone's submissions, okay? So we're trying to see if you use some kind of cool tool like Copilot or anything else, okay? So it's something that we're just trying to keep track of as we work around when we vigilate. But via the submissions, we see a lot. We see evidence through there. Hello. Okay. So your formative and summative assessments, it's more contextual questions. So it's multiple. It's MCQ, multiple choice questions. Okay, so you'll get a different ones of questions, and you just need to choose the option. So we may change the format in which we're doing it, but previously we used Google Forms. You would submit the assessment, and as you complete at the end, when everyone's complete, we would send out your results to you. Okay, so you'd get feedback immediately on that assessment, and it would be like that for the formative and summative.
Okay, just a quick one, guys. I know you may not want to, but then please use the mic for the benefit of our Cape Town people as well. Just get closer to your mouth and it's gonna work.
Okay. But let's say one misses a test, and let's say maybe they were sick or something. So what is it done? Like, is there a supplementary test or a CT?
Okay, cool. Going forward, we are not going to do supplementaries for your assessments. Okay, this is what we will do. Okay, if you missed an assessment, and the only things we will accept is proof of a medical note or an affidavit. Okay, if something happened, then that's the things we'll accept. If you sent an email saying, "Oh, I missed the bus, I missed my transport," we aren't going to accept it. Okay, but what we would do, if you can prove to us that you had a medical reason or a legitimate reason for why you missed it that day, we will look at it for your profile and see if we can look at your other assessments and maybe remove that one because you had a bad reason. Okay? But if you miss too many, that's going to be a problem. So please don't make that a habit, okay?
They can't hear you, Bisa. Bisa? Bisa? Can you give him a mic? They can't hear you.
I'll repeat the question. So Busang was saying, try not to sleep in the day of your assessments. It's on your calendars. Set multiple alarms. Make sure that you reply come in for your assessment. If something happened and you can't come on the day, we are only accepting medical notes and an affidavit for whatever reason. Okay? Cool.
Okay, another question.
I just wanted to know, are we going to be getting like a progress reports with our assessments anytime soon so we can like see how we're doing?
Yes.
When?
Okay, so we usually send out those progress reports at the beginning of each new semester. Because in a semester, up until the last week, you're still working. Usually, the school would be working on a group project. We would take then a week or two to get all the data ready, make sure it's correct, and then a week or 2 weeks into your new semester, you get your reports. Okay, but so far, y'all can track how y'all have been doing for your submissions. You can see how you've been doing for your assessments. So you can most probably get a feel of how you've been progressing as well. The report is just to confirm that, yes, this is how you've been doing. What?
Problems with the bot.
comment. Okay, I'll try and be a bit blunt about this. I don't want you to rely too heavily on the bot. Okay. Yes, it gives you some kind of feedback, but besides the bot, I want you all reading the specs of the project, making sure that you've outlined what you could have, speaking with another member saying, oh, I created these kind of unit tests, did you cater for this and did you cater for this? I want you all to just kind of take ownership of that, okay? The bot is not perfect. The bot is not your point of truth about what your grades are going to look like. So with the bot, it's still in development, okay? Okay. Oh, she's answered. Any other question? Going once, going twice. Yes.
Okay. So my question is, with the network analysis,
In regards of the peer review projects, how do we know the progress that we're doing because they are not reviewed by the bot?
Okay, with your peer-reviewed projects, what we doing with the projects is we kind of just have it in place just to make sure that y'all are reviewing each other. What we've picked up in the past is that students can be very friendly with each other and they could give each other really high scores even though the project is very poorly done. So going forward, that's why we're using your submissions and assessments as a point of truth. We just want you to get into that strong habit of going about your peer reviews. Going forward into your new semester and semester 3, we're going to have very structured guidelines for how you're going to do the peer reviews. And we will then take those grades as well. But for now, with this first semester, especially because it's new projects, we need to refine it before getting peer review results from you. So for now, we just want to continue with the peer reviews. It's quite important, and by the time we get second semester, it's something you are going to get grades for as well.
so in our progress report, it's written that we haven't started.
I cannot hear you.
Network analysis is not started. Network analysis is not started on our progress report. So network analysis.
Network analysis.
So it's saying not started. So I want to know because I'm done with my submitted everything is fine. But now looking at my total score, it catches it maybe later on some data there.
No, I cannot hear you. Please ask.
So on our progress report, network analysis is not started.
Sorry, everyone. Yeah.
So my question is our score going to be decremented when the board catches that it's been started or like and submitted a long time ago, but then it's still labeled as not started yet?
He's asking about the bot, and the bot is picking up that he hasn't started network analysis yet. So is he going to be de-scored, I guess, for lack of a better word, for that? I really don't want you to rely on the bot too much, okay? The bot isn't the point of truth. If you submitted the project, okay, if you follow the guidelines, that should be fine, okay? I really want you to kind of stray away from the bot that much. If you know you started the project, and if the bot says you haven't started it, go check if you configured the project correctly, okay? Contact the performance team. Hi, performance team. I believe I started this project and I completed it, but I'm getting this response from the bot. Can you please confirm that you can see my results on your side? Cool. Okay.
I'm sorry, time's up. We need to move on to something else.
Okay, so moving on to.
Okay, before we do, I think there is one more pending question at the back. It's fine. Okay, let's take one more call.
Any more questions? Yes.
Since you said that we're going to be doing TDDs later on with the brownfields and stuff, last quarter it was said that we don't do our TDDs correctly and basically terrible at it. But it was not specified what exactly we were doing wrong or how we can improve or, you know.
So we threw you out in the deep on purpose. We gave you projects and we said create unit tests, and we threw you in the deep on purpose because that's how we want you to start figuring it out. By the time you get to your object orientation module, you'll go over TDD again. You'll focus on new conventions for how to test in object-oriented languages. And by the time you get to brownfields, you'll be focusing on something called acceptance testing, which is completely different. So the types of testing and quality assurance that you'd be doing on your projects would keep advancing. And it's just a learning experience. That's all it is. Okay. So you'll just keep learning as it keeps coming. Okay, sorry, comment, but we have to take a 5 to 10 minutes break. Wait. Hold on. So before you go, sorry, comment. The operations team is asking for how Hello Market to come to the operations office downstairs. How Hello Market. Right. Let's meet back here at 11:35. Thanks, everyone.
Can you hear me? Johannes, can you hear me? God, okay, it's gonna come back for like a 5-minute presentation.
Hi everyone. They're taking a break. They're on a break right now.
Yeah, but why? Because I was gonna be done in like 5 minutes. There's not much to talk about.
Jay will respond soon.
That's fine, don't worry.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Ito, okay, yes, total. I think we only have two more items left for the day, and then we can wrap up. So you can go back to copying code and sending screenshots and sending each other code via email, USB. We know all of that. Okay. Um, Lee, are you in the call?
Hello.
Hmm? Can you hear me?
Can you
Who are
hear
you
me?
speaking to?
To Jay.
Can you speak up a bit?
Jay, can you hear me?
Fantastic, yes.
Fantastic. Cool. Am I audible? Am I loud enough? Jay?
Just 1 second. Can you hear me, Lee?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Wanna share?
Great stuff.
Uh, San, can you mute Idoga Shabik? Uh, Lee,
Yes.
do you wanna share your screen?
Yes, please. You can stop sharing. Cool. Uh, awesome. You can see my screen? Okay. See my screen on YouTube. So Okay, so it's fine. Cool. Whoops. Good morning, everyone. So I'll be taking you through just the communication tools that we use at Rethink Code. At the moment, there are only two. I don't think there'll be any more, but I would like to go through them and hopefully give you a better understanding as to what to use, when to use it, and also how to use it, but more particularly metrics. So as you can see under the induction part of the curriculum site, we have matrix and email. Those are the two communication tools that you should be used to or that you should get used to using. So for email, just a brief overview, it's important to check your emails every day, multiple times a day, to be more specific, as we will be sharing not just us as the student performance team, but the placements team, the LMS team, the campus team, or operations team. Any important or pertinent information will be shared to you via email. So please make sure that you check your emails regularly, whether it be every hour, every half hour, every 2 hours at a minimum, so that you don't miss any important information. All right. Then next, I'll go over matrix. At this point in time, I'm sure that everyone has access to matrix. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about this session. So just going over matrix, this is what you see generally. If you just go into the community space and you're not in any channels or rooms, as it's called on Matrix, you can just click on the Within Code community. You can explore rooms and you'll see all these rooms that are open. I want to hide this thing, sorry. The Zoom taskbar is annoying. It's in my way. Okay, there we go. Let's do that. Cool. So if you click on Within Code community and you aren't in any rooms, you should be able to see the available rooms that are free to join for anyone, right? So we have Campus General. This is a room that you should be in. This is where campus-wide information will be shared, but would also be shared via email. So it's as simple as going to Explore Rooms, click on Campus General, and then you click Join, like I just did. And if there's any other rooms that you wish to join, so let's just go back to Explore, whether it be Campus with Code events. So if you want to know about upcoming events like hackathons, external hackathons, what else is there? Talks, stuff like that. Just go in there, join the discussion, and you'll get information about that particular thing. It's very important to make sure that so each room has a specific purpose. So Campus General is for all campus-wide queries, general queries, general information being shared with you campus-wide. There are also campus-specific channels. So if, for example, you're on the Joburg campus, please make sure that you are in the Johannesburg or JHB campus announcements. If you're on the Cape Town campus, there is a CPT campus announcements channel. If you are not in that specific channel, please reach out to a student performance member so that they can add you, as these channels are by invite only. That way we're not getting people from other campuses or other places joining and causing disruptions, and so that we don't share information that is campus specific and causing campus or cohort-wide panic, whatever the case may be. So if, for example, there's no water in Johannesburg campus, and you're on the Cape Town campus, you'll get an at-room message, and then you'll think, oh, there's no water on campus, but then it's only for Joburg and not Cape Town, right? So that's why those channels are private and by invite only. So just another reminder, if you are not in those channels for your specific campus, please reach out to any of us and we will add you. Right. So for accreditation 2025, you can join this channel. I think it's open. Cool. You can join this channel. I believe this is a channel created by Ruan, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. But I'm going to go with the assumption that any and all information regarding to your accreditation, your NQF6, will be shared here. If you have questions on it, you can put those questions in this channel, and it should be answered there, right? Student wellness, something you can join if you want to share information, or if you want, if you need assistance with mental health or time management, or just space to breathe or whatever, or your thoughts. The random channel, this is a channel that comes from Slack. Basically, it's a channel for fun, obviously respectful fun. So if you want to post memes, if you want to post jokes, if you want to share fun information, if you want to de-stress and complain about how difficult the work is, you can do it over here in this channel. Yeah, it should be, it's basically a channel to drive conversation and just gentle campus or cohort-wide share the pain, so to say, if that makes more sense. Then there are a few more other private channels. Let me access the curriculum feedback. This channel over here is for anyone. If you have feedback on the curriculum, like if there's typos, if there's a particular part that's very vague on the curriculum side, if, for example, something doesn't make sense and you feel like it could be phrased better or differently, then please share that feedback in here. This is one way that we've created for you guys to provide feedback for us and the curriculum team, so we can take that to them and then obviously improve on that where necessary. Yeah, that is about it. Any tech news, stuff like that, we'll go into Within Code news. Yeah, so I guess you kind of get the idea and the gist of how this works. There are channels or rooms for specific reasons. Please try your utmost to abide by the rules. Don't post accreditation stuff or ask a question about your accreditation in the random channel. It's not something that's going to be answered, or it's going to get lost in there. And just help your friends out, help your peers out. If, for example, you see that they've posted something that doesn't make sense to that room, just respectfully guide them or point them in the correct direction. And then another thing, if another request, or rather a request from us, is in your profile over here, right? You go to all settings. Please just add a nice profile picture of yourself. So for example, this is what I look like. Just a nice clear photo of yourself. If you don't know, I am an alumni, and this is a picture that was taken when I joined, or when I was at Within Code. So please add a photo of yourself. a nice clear photo so that we can see your face. We don't always see people face to face or on campus. So if we're looking for you or if we need something from you, we can always go to Matrix, see your profile picture, come and find you on campus, for example. And then, yeah, they will all know we get to put a face to a name kind of thing. So if you can, please do that. And then under display name, please make sure that your display name is as follows. So your username will be 023 for you, and then your campus. I think that's it, right? So to be username, code, or in your case, it could be 024, and then the campus, right? So make sure it looks like that. That way we can also see who you are, and if we need anything from you, it's easier to assist you if you have a question, because we can get your username and everything. So some of you have it as your first name and your last name. It's not always everything in our database isn't always by first name and last name. Uh, Most of our references are by username. So if you can put your display name as your username, that will make everything a lot simpler and will make assisting you much easier, right? So yeah, that is basically it for Matrix. If there are any questions, I'm open to taking questions. For the other SB guys, if there's anything that you feel I missed, please let me know.
Okay.
No questions?
No, there doesn't seem to be any.
So it makes sense for everyone. Everyone's happy. I see a student has already updated the profile picture. Thank you very much. And I'd appreciate it if everyone else can follow suit. Yeah, thank you very much. Cool. If there's nothing else, you can have a meeting back. Thank you, Jay.
Fantastic. Thanks, Lee. Then we're gonna finish up with Ruan, who's gonna tell us more about our CTO. Ruan, should I share or will you share from your side?
Sorry?
Do you want me to share or will you share from your side?
Yeah, you can share the slides, please. It's just two quick ones. Go up one. Oh, yeah, this is right. Sorry. Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Ruan. I'm head of I lead the accreditation team, which is me. So as you guys know, we've moved over to QCTO. I've spoken about this before. The purpose of QCTO is to evaluate students on whether they have met the requirements set out by QCTO standards in order to be accredited with an NQF qualification. We are an NQF 6. It's split into 3 different modules. The knowledge module, practical skills module, and the work experience module. So the knowledge module, which will be rolled out in the coming months, is basically like information that you need to take in and you answer questions on it. So it's like basically everything to do with programming, computer knowledge, everything like that. Most of the tests will be multiple choice, but it's a good learning journey and it's just everything that you need. The practical skills modules you guys are already partaking in. So every project you do has to do with practical skills. The work experience module, so that is also part of the practical skills module, The work experience you do is, so your bigger projects, and what Corbin has spoken about before, and using specific tools to track your projects, setting up projects, basically everything you do at We Think Code is already work experience as a module. So it's not, these aren't three separate things. They're basically all together. So internal assessments, which you guys have been doing and will carry on doing, is just to evaluate your competence and knowledge. So the external exam, we have more information on now. It's not going to be a written exam. It'll be a project-based exam. But we will be sure to equip you with everything you need to succeed. So there's nothing to stress about. Cool, you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the requirements, any NQF4 is required for the NQF6. And it needs to be recognized by SACWA. What that means, if you have a Cambridge certificate or if you have your O and A levels, you need to have them converted. You need a conversion certificate from SACWA. So you need to, if you have a Cambridge certificate or you did your O and A levels, if it's not like a national certificate that says NQF4, if it's not like a government school or those, then you need to have it converted. And you go to SACWA, you look at the services, and you do it all online. And it's just an online certificate that you get, and it needs to be converted. If you do not have an NQF4, you would need to do your matric and come back at a later stage to do your NQF6. So yeah, there is that. Okay, and I think the most important thing, because there's a lot to talk about in terms of like filling in forms accurately and all of that, but we mostly fill it in for you because we already have your correct information. But don't miss any deadlines. If I ask you by Monday, you need to submit certain documents, you have them submitted by Monday. You will find yourself getting performance warnings very quickly. I don't really deal in second chances. It's basic, simple stuff that you need to do. It also coincides with like work environment things. It's just things you have to do in real life. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. If there are any specific questions that I might be able to answer now, would be a good time to ask.
Fantastic. Are there any questions regarding accreditation? Okay, there are no questions. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Thank you. I think that then brings us to the end of day 2. But before you stand up, I'm sorry I'm gonna say this, it's madness that we went through all this trouble to try and reorient you guys into how things work at Within Code. The team that is responsible for training you was here today to tell you more about how you get to graduate at Within Code. But walking around here, I see people sleeping, and I'm wondering, WT, whatever. We've explained the three P's, and you're sleeping. And then come January 2026, you guys will be knocking at the performance office saying, how am I not graduating? That's madness. That's crazy. Anyway, yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And how Paloma still hasn't seen Amanda. Please can you go down to Amanda if you get. If you're not, it also means that someone might have signed for you and we're gonna look for you. Anyway, we have come to the end of day 2. Please enjoy the rest of your day.